Welcome to I'm Not Guilty 101. I bet you wonder what happens when you go into a courtroom and somebody says, you are accused of aggravated impersonation of being stupid. And you're saying, I'm not stupid. I'm smart. I wasn't even pretending to be stupid, but you've been accused of being stupid. All right, so what happens when you go into the court itself, and now we're getting ready to go to the trial, the very first step on the trial process is the arraignment hearing. Now, we've got several steps prior to that, but we're at the arraignment. At the arraignment, it's the official charge. And they say, for example, Richard Becker, you've been charged with aggravated stupidity. How do you plead? Now, I'm not stupid, so I want to plead innocent. I'm innocent. I didn't do this. But you know what? We don't have an innocent pleading in our court system. We don't have an innocent pleading because you are presumed to be innocent until proven guilty. It is the paradigm of our criminal justice system. So when you go into court and they say, you've been accused of aggravated impersonation of stupidity, you've got 4 pleadings. 3 of them you read about all the time. A 4th one's kind of interesting. The first one that we see, you can plead guilty. Generally, this is a plea bargain kind of thing. You don't walk in and say, oh, I plead guilty because I want to plead guilty. But you have worked with your defense attorney and the prosecutor, so you're only going to get 5 years in prison instead of 25. That's worth the plea. But you don't want to plead guilty. You want to plead innocent. There is no innocent pleading. So how are you going to do it? How are you going to tell the court that I'm not going to plead guilty, I want to go to trial? And you just said, I'm not going to plead guilty. It says not guilty. So we've got guilty and a not guilty plea. But what if you don't want to argue the case? You know you didn't do it, but somebody's got to take the blame. And for whatever reason, you don't want your girlfriend going to prison. So you're just going to plea. There's another plea. It's called nolo contendere. So we've got guilty, not guilty, and then nolo contendere. I'm not going to argue with it. I'm just going to accept what you charge me with and move on from there. So 3 pleadings that most people know about. However, there's a crazy one that you rarely read about in the books, but we call it standing mute. And yes, I know, most of you would like for me just to shut up and stand mute so you can go on, don't have to worry about all this stuff. But I'm always curious because I've been in a court before where the accused is charged with some offense and it looks like this. Richard Becker, you've been charged with aggravated impersonation of stupidity. How do you plead? And at that point, the judge looks at the defense attorney looks at the judge, and the defense attorney says, Your Honor, my client on that charge stands mute. Standing mute is entered as a not guilty plea, because in order to plead guilty, it has to be done voluntarily. In order to plead nolo contendere, which is entered as a guilty plea, it has to be voluntarily. I didn't voluntarily do anything. But why would you stand mute? I asked a couple of people that one time, it's been several years, but I said, why didn't you just plead not guilty? They looked at me and they go, what, you think I'm stupid? I plead not guilty, and then later on the jury finds me guilty. Hell, the judge will charge me with perjury. They should be charged with aggravated impersonation of stupidity. You're not sworn in, you can't be charged with anything. But that's their belief. And what we perceive is often our reality. This is the end of I'm Not Guilty 101. Thank you.